One of the hardest things to do is catch your audience's attention. So today I'm going to show you one of two simple ways that you can go out there and start painting a vivid picture in your audience's mind of the outcome that your service, your product delivers to get them stop scrolling, and so that you can start that conversation and how you can sell your product and get them to the other side. So if this is the first time joining one of my lives, I'm Brian Czekanski, and I work with health coaches and experts so that they can have their dream clients banging at their door while cutting their work hours in half with something I call the keys method, which is all about unlocking the business that you really want and having your best clients come to you. So if I just kind of break down the keys method, again, go to thekeysmethod.com for even more details. But effectively what the keys method is, it's just a simple acronym that you should think about. So, the first one, K, is kind of like knocking them off the chair. So again, if your prospects aren't going out there and paying attention to you, you're never going to have a conversation. You're never going to get them to that end result where you're selling your product or service. So the first thing that we have to do, especially online, is to get them to cut out all the distractions and actually pay attention to you, even for a few seconds or a few minutes. Most of the times you just have a few milliseconds to catch their attention. And then once we've done that, to kind of continue the conversation, we need to emotionally engage them, finally explain your unique formula. And it's just cut off here, but the final step is kind of selling them on the next step altogether. So today I'm going to focus on one aspect of knocking them off the chair. You can go through, again, go to keysmethod.com to go through each of these steps. I've actually got a worksheet that helps, define it for your business, give you some helpful tips on how to brainstorm ideas for your business. And the best part is that you can start to use these ideas through something that I call conversation ads, which are ads that you can run on Facebook for $1 a day per ad. So very cheap. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars putting out ideas and seeing if they work. You can run conversation ads, test out different ideas based on these 4 steps, and eventually get to the point where you know exactly what buttons to push to get your audience's attention, but also get them to that final sale at the end of it. So today, in terms of knocking them off the chair, there's a variety of different ways to do it, but I'm going to talk about number one, kind of painting a picture in your audience's mind of what the opportunity is. So again, in your marketing, what we always want to focus on is selling the outcome and focus less on selling your services or product, because that's ultimately what your audience is paying for. They're paying for that outcome once they've worked with you, once they've bought your product. Like, how's it going to change their life? How are they going to start to visualize some improvement in their life, whether it's solving a problem or just increasing their satisfaction in their life altogether? So just want to walk through a little bit of that. Again, I go in a lot more detail in the keysmethod.com, where you can go through a web, see a bunch more examples and actually see how you can, some helpful tips on how you can put this together for your business and actually start to test these out with conversation ads. So I'm going to show you a couple of different examples of kind of painting the picture in your audience's mind, but really think about, once somebody has worked with you, either services or product, how is their life going to change? Put them in that moment where they've already worked with you. They're starting to be in a specific moment where they're starting to visualize, almost like they can see, they can hear it, they can smell it, kind of a 360 view. If it's with enough visual detail, kind of those picture words to bring it to life for people. And by doing that, you're gonna start that imagination flow going. You're gonna start to give them hope. You're gonna start to give them belief. And this is also going to catch their attention because, you're speaking their language. You're speaking about the things that they want most, the things that they've been dreaming about when they go to sleep, the things that they always wanted the most, and you're using their exact words in doing that. And again, I go into a lot more detail on how to do that in the worksheet. So opt in there. But the idea is to really, give them, something that really, talk through that moment that they're dealing with. And again, I'll give you an examples in just a second, but really putting them in a specific moment where they know they have kind of achieved that outcome that they want the most, that your product or service has gotten them there, and all the great things that they're experiencing, not only with the specific problem that you solve, but with other areas in their life as well. What are those extra side benefits that they're going to experience after, getting that outcome that they want the most? So maybe it's just helpful to kind of show you a couple different examples to kind of bring this to life that I've seen more recently in some sales pages. So the first one is a joint supplement sales page. I thought really just did an effective job, especially in this section of the sales letter, of really kind of bringing it to life for the audience. What is it all about? So again, it kind of gets to the sales page, but what we're trying to do here is with conversation ads, really bring it to our audience in a short period of time. Really, excuse me. What you want to do in a really short period of time, again, 30 seconds or less. How can we bring this to life for them? So again, he starts off with, first, I want to picture this for a second. So again, kind of just opening up the imagination. One day in the not so distant future, you're lying in bed. It's morning. Light is peeking in through the window, and you hear birds chirping in the distance. As you roll over to check the time, you think, wow, did I sleep through the night? And again, think about, for this specific audience dealing with joint pain, like sleep is a big pain point for them. So we're getting them in that imagination, started painting the picture, that outcome that they want the most of, wow, I can finally sleep through the night without pain and tossing and turning and staring at the ceiling because my knees hurt, my hips hurt, my arthritis in my hands is bothering me. So you feel rested and rejuvenated. In fact, you feel an extra pep in your steps, something you haven't felt in years. So again, it's all speaking to kind of those, not only the what's physically happening and kind of painting that picture, but also what are those thoughts, feelings, emotions that are coming through as they are going through this experience. And then as you get to bed, you notice your back doesn't feel as stiff, your knees don't ache as you stand out of bed. And as you head towards the bathroom and brush your teeth, it hits you. Your joints feel sturdy and more flexible than they have in years. In fact, even if you haven't spent all day working, doing work in the yard, there's less soreness in your shoulders. And you stand up to walk to the bathroom, you notice your hips feel smooth and comfortable. Your knees feel smooth and flexible. You don't need to rub some smelly cream on your knees or elbows. So kind of speaking to kind of that enemy of all this medication and all this other stuff that they're trying to use to relieve some of their pain. Rather, your joints feel healthier and more flexible. Then you head downstairs for some breakfast. Going down the stairs is a breeze. So again, the stairs is another element in addition to sleep, where there's a lot of pain points around joint pain. What's on your agenda today? Is it some work around the yard? Imagine how it would feel to bend over, pick up leaves, push the lawnmower, reach up to trim the branches. Like all these activities that they wouldn't be able to even imagine doing without this product, without feeling discomfort in your back, shoulders, or elbows. Or maybe it's a long walk around the neighborhood with your spouse. So again, they're kind of giving you a picture here of what you could potentially do, like bring the benefits to life. Imagine the look on your neighbor's face when you practically jog past them and you're moving along at a quicker pace of someone half your age. Or what about taking your grandkids to the park? Imagine chasing them around, feeling like you could go all day. Or having a game of catch with your grandson, crouching down to play catcher as one fastball after another. Then at the end of the day, you go out to a nice romantic dinner with your spouse. As you sit there enjoying your meal, you think back on your day and realize your life just got a whole lot easier. So again, that's a little bit longer than I'd probably have for the conversation ads that I talk about in terms of the keys method, but kind of gives you a picture of like, okay, like help your audience kind of get an idea of a specific moment. Again, this is around kind of sleep and one of their main, if you have joint pain, like sleep is something that's, hugely impacted by that, but also the other activities during the day that they just haven't been able to do because of that joint pain really helping them back. And really just helping your audience visualize like, okay, I've got my life back. It's so much easier. I don't have to deal with this pain anymore. It's not an obstacle. So really just bringing it to life in a really visual words. And again, really thinking about those thoughts, feelings, and emotions so that you can really bring your audience to that, and they can start to picture it in their head, and they can start to build up that hope and belief. And again, all we're trying to do here is catch your audience's attention, kind of build up curiosity. We haven't even talked about anything about the product or the solution or any of that. We're just trying to catch their attention, start that conversation. And with these conversation ads, again, we're just trying to initiate a conversation and see who's interested in this overall. And this works out really well on Facebook, but also YouTube and all the other social networks as well, especially if you're running online ads. You can do it for organic posts as well, but like for online ads, it works out really well because in talking about the opportunity, it's all positive language. We're not trying to reach down and talk about all the negative things that are going on in their life. As we're talking about that opportunity, it's so positive, and we're talking about a positive experience, which is what Facebook and YouTube and all the other social networks want. They want that positive experience. They want you talking up the opportunity for your audience so they start to feel good and start to feel excited and all those kind of things. So it really lines up well with what your audience needs and wants, but also Facebook loves it, YouTube loves it. All those social networks love it because it's creating a nice user experience. And it kind of goes along with that. But potentially can lower your ad costs over time, especially if there's really good engagement and comments and people, eventually getting to a purchase on the other side. So So that's one aspect of it. I want to give you another example. This one's a little bit more boring in terms of the product. This is around estate planning, but it works for really boring products as well. So we talked about, joint pain, which is a little bit more, maybe a little bit easier to do that research, but estate planning, obviously a little bit more dry, a little bit more boring. But again, we can start to create a picture in our audience's mind of what's possible. And again, all we're trying to do is to bring up some curiosity, to catch our audience's attention, to stop their scroll and start that conversation and help them kind of visualize in their own mind about what's possible. So this is an estate planning book that they're selling within the sales page. And I'm just showing you a portion of the sales page, but you can see here at the top. But the good news is that these same changes have also opened up many loopholes and new opportunities to pass on every penny of your wealth exactly as you see fit. So again, that's the opportunity of being able to, like, when you pass away, knowing that your wealth is going to be passed down in exactly how you want it to. The government and all these other legal, like anybody that tries to sue you and everything else, like, you've created this opportunity where you know exactly where your money's going, and none of these other vultures that are out there that might steal your money are going to take that away, or from the heirs that you're looking for. Again, kind of getting to, if you truly and firmly want your hard-earned money to live on to protect and provide for your loved ones without the insane interference and delay from the courts, creditors, and disgruntled relatives. So again, talking about those villains that are out there, the courts, the creditors, disgruntled relatives, and without the government grabbing the lion's share, you need to take a look at the at the product's name. So again, in this one, the product's name does come up, and today I've made it super easy for you. Again, I'm going to go down a little bit further, where it gets into a little bit more of that opportunity. It's kind of cut off here, but the idea here is a little bit cut off here, but an error there. So, okay, but you get the idea of kind of painting that picture of what is the opportunity. And as we got into the opportunity, again, it went to a little bit more detail of how you can kind of use these opportunities, use these loopholes to ensure that on the other side, that you are going to be able to kind of like, again, making sure that the money that you want going to your heirs doesn't get caught up by anybody else in that way, and being able to know. And the other additional benefit is that it has enough information here that it can help you actually save taxes while you're currently living. So that's another added benefit. Again, people don't always think of, them dying is something that might be a lot further off in the distance. So it doesn't have a lot of urgency to it. So by talking about those kind of near-term benefits of, okay, I can save on taxes this year. Wow, that's something that I have to pick up, along with the fact that I have the peace of mind of knowing that, okay, I can protect myself from an estate planning perspective, pass on my wealth to everybody else. But you have some privacy around those things, making sure that there's no arguments between the heirs, making sure that, one heir doesn't know what the other heir is getting, those kind of things. So that product really spoke to the opportunity set of, okay, this kind of removes, especially when you're not there to kind of sort it out, even before that happens, we've set it up in the right place, so that your wishes kind of become reality, rather than you letting the courts decide, or the government decide, or having all this bickering among relatives as you see fit. So that's kind of the opportunity as we saw it in that. So again, as we think about the keys method, again, going back to this just one more time in terms of the key acronym here. So knocking them off the chair, like catching your audience's attention, is number one. Again, you can't sell your products if they stop their scroll. It can take literally milliseconds or seconds to catch their attention. So if we speak to the opportunity that they want most in the words that really speak to their thoughts, feelings, emotions, we can start that conversation, and then we can move on to emotionally engaging with them, their unique formula, and then selling them on the next step. But it's all, all these steps kind of go together. It's, you can't skip any steps, especially with this first one. All the rest of your steps, you can emotionally engage everybody. You can talk about your unique formula or selling them on the next step. But if you haven't caught their attention, all the rest of the steps really don't work. So again, go to thekeysmethod.com where you can get a lot more examples. Again, I've got a worksheet, a Google Doc, where you can actually brainstorm some ideas, and you can see how conversation ads, you can use them to begin to have these discussions with your prospects and get them coming to you instead of you having to hustle all the time to reach out to them. In effect, it allows you to cut your work hours in half. So if you really enjoy this video, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that you get alerted anytime I come out with new content, usually Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays each week. And with that, I'll see you on the next live.